filthy bandits stealing his crystal ball after all he did for them. Ah, but pardon Drojaban. What can he do for you? Drojaban is a mage. He is here because it is a place where people will not think he is. Some people do not like Drojaban much. He thinks it is better to be somewhere that he will not bump into them. Herd was once Drojaban's apprentice. You know him. Drojaban gave him the name Bird when his levitation spell failed, and he fell from the sky. Drojaban may have some insight into this matter. He knows much about destruction magic, after all, but he is much preoccupied with fretting over his missing crystal bow. After all Drojaban did for them, they go and steal his crystal ball. A thief is a thief, after all. He should not be surprised. Did they think that Drojaban would be unable to get past the traps he set up himself? Fools. Say, would you care to save Drojaban some trouble? If you go into the stronghold and get his crystal ball back, he will be very grateful to you. Perhaps even grateful enough to discuss your problem of misfired spells. What do you say? Ah, fantastic. The thieves are on the lowest level of the stronghold. Just be sure to be careful of the traps. As Drojaban said, he created many of them himself. Be especially careful of the rug that he enchanted. He is very excited to have his crystal ball back. You wish to speak? Drojaban so misses peering into his crystal ball. Do you have it for him? You found it. A joyous day. Drojaban very much looks forward to peering into his crystal ball once more. As promised, you have Drojaban's gratitude. And because he is so pleased with your work, he will even awe one of his own making. Only, that is something you will have to pay for. Drojaban does not teach his spells for free, especially not spells as dangerous as this one. Also, you came to Drojaban to discuss something about misfired spells, correct? These occurrences are very unusual, but Drojaban is reminded of a rare phenomenon, magic that is dying. Certain calamitous events can cause a sort of anti-magic to take form. It is a kind of curse that attaches itself to a type of magic, which eventually kills it and makes the spell impossible to cast. At first, the effects of anti-magic appear exactly as you described. The odd piece of the puzzle is that you say it's happening with all kinds of magic. Drojaban does not know what to make of this. As Drojaban mentioned, it is a rare occurrence. He first learned of it in the oral histories of the Wild Elves. After the Prophet Maruk's followers danced upon the tower, many of their spells were gravely wounded and eventually killed. The spells they used to craft their famous flesh gardens, for one. Another wild elf sage told him that a spell that could keep clothes spotlessly clean was lost. Although they may have been playing a joke on Drojaban, such a spell would be all too convenient. This Drojaban cannot know, because he is not a member of the Mages Guild. He does, however, know that many advancements in spellcrafting and enchanting have come from your guild hall. Could one of your guild mates have accidentally created an anti-magic curse? Drojaban does not think it likely. Such catastrophes are typically felt from miles away, and that would not explain the curse affecting the entirety of the guild hall. So this is still a puzzle. He is sorry he couldn't be of more help. In all, Drojaban would recommend ceasing unnecessary spellcasting at your guild hall until you figure out exactly what is causing these misfires. Drojaban hopes that he was of help to you. Now he will take some time to look into his crystal ball that you so generously recovered for him.
Please, by all means. I'm listening.
Greetings to you, Breton.
What? What do you want? I'm much too busy, P-Cracked. Unless you're here for duties, then I might be able to make some use of you. I'm Anatolius Datus. I keep the Balrog running smoothly. It's a very involved job, so I would rather keep this brief. You're in? Good, good. I'll take notes. I just need somebody to operate the Balrog's console. Here, take this key. Just insert it into the console and turn it. Then turn off the Oblivion stream conduit and turn it back on. I'd do it myself, but I have to see it start up. If I turn it on myself, I wouldn't be able to see that. The wall and all. Safety protocols, they call it. Utter foolishness, but it's the reality of it. So I need a second to start it up. Now go ahead and do it. Please. The Balrog isn't operating any worse than expected. Good work, P-Crack. I asked you to operate the Balrog while I take notes. Would have to keep going. Now I'd like you to turn off the Daedron field generators and turn them back on, same as last time. I have an idea of what the problem might be, but I have to see this first.
It just stood there, holding its tail and whispering. What
Not
did
great,
it say?
not terrible. At least we aren't on the verge of a crisis. There's one last thing I'd like you to check on the Balrog, P-Crack. The operating levels are significantly lower than they were before the Archmage left. There's one last test I'd like you to perform. Turn off both secondary modules, then raise the Balrog's rods. I need somebody to get up close to them and tell me if anything stands out. Take these potions. You may need them when you get close to the Balrog. Lastly, and this is very important, you have to lower the rods once you're finished. The Balrog may become instable if its rods are raised for too long.
Greetings, Breton. How may I help you?
So, was there anything on the Balrog? The rods are corroded? Oh dear, this won't do. It simply won't do. If it continues to operate this way, it would. Well, never you mind. All you need to know is that it's very important that the Balrog is repaired. I can fix it, but to do so I'll need at least 8 pieces of Dwemer scrap metal and 2 greater soul gems. So bring them back here, please. It's very important. Oh, and good job operating the Balrog, P-Cracked. Thank you for bringing back the key.
Are you here to discuss your orders? Or is there something else you want? Ready for orders? Good. Go talk to Haspat Antabolus at the Balmora Fighters Guild. Ask him what he knows about the Nerevarine secret cult and the Sixth House secret cult. You'll have to do him a favor first. Probably an ugly favor. But do it. Then get the information from Antabolus and report back to me. By the way, Haspat is a student of Morrowind history. Take the chance to get a little education. And I have a few history books in here. Help yourself. You're welcome to them. No point in being part of history if you're too ignorant to understand it. He's drill master of the Balmora Fighters Guild. He's lived in Morrowind all his life, knows the natives, and talks a lot with backcountry mercenaries. He thinks of himself as a scholar, and he's particularly interested in Dwemer ruins and artifacts. Some Dunmer believe that an orphan and outcast, a youth born on a certain day to uncertain parents, will one day unite all the tribes of the Dunmer, drive out the invaders of Morrowind, and re-establish the ancient laws and customs of the dark elven nations. They call this orphan and outcast the Nerevarine, and say the Nerevarine will be a reincarnation of the long-dead Dunmer general and first counselor, Lord Indoril Nerevar. A trusted informant says they're a secret cult associated with some strange events recently, and, more important, my informant thinks these recent disturbances are related in some way to the Nerevarine prophecies. The illiterate Ashlanders pass down their customs and history in the form of poetic verses. Among the things they preserve in verse are the dreams and prophetic visions of their wise women, in particular the verses that foretell the coming of the Nerevarine. But I don't know much about it. That's why I'm sending you to find out. Jeanette Sitta's little book is a good place to start. I have a copy here, take it. You might also look for On Morrowind, the Imperial Province, by Eramanwe of Sunhold. Speak. Good day. So you're with Caius, eh? And Caius wants information? Of course, there's a this for that involved. I require a favor first, and then I'll tell you what you want to know. There are Dwemer ruins nearby called Arkangthand. I need you to run over there and find me a little cube with a circular design and some symbols on one side. It's called a Dwemer puzzle box. Bring me back the Dwemer puzzle box, and I'll tell you what you want to know. The old Dwemer ruins at Arkangthand are extensive on the surface and underground. Head south out of town past the Siltstrider port, then cross bridges east over the Odai River. At the signpost, head north towards Caldera. Immediately on the right, see a signpost for Molag Mar. Turn right and head uphill on an old road to cross an ancient Dwemer bridge over Foyada Mamea. The entrance to Arkangthand is on the east side of the Foyada, south of the bridge. Turn a crank on a pipe nearby to open the doors. The little cube I'm looking for is about the size of a fist, maybe a little bigger. It will be made of a coppery metal with a circular design and symbols on one side and some lined marks on the other sides. That's all I want, that little cube. Foyada means fire river in the native Ashlander language. The deep ash-dark ravines which run down from the Red Mountain volcano are called Foyada. The lava from Red Mountain is very fluid, and it runs almost like water. And during an eruption, fire rivers run down the mountain, clearing the ravines of vegetation. Because they have good footing, are clear of brush, and run long distances, the natives use them like roads. I'm listening. So, have you done that little favor I asked? Perfect. Just what I was looking for. Just let me take this Dwemer puzzle box, and then I'll tell you what Caius will want to know about the sixth house and about the Nerevarine. By the way, the inscriptions on the box seem to be the directions for setting a Dwemer key to open a specific lock. If you're interested after you've delivered your report to Caius, come back and maybe I'll have a key you can take back to Arkangthand. House Dagoth is the sixth house, the lost sixth house. In the First Age, House Dagoth betrayed the other great houses during the War of the First Council and was destroyed for their treason. I can answer any questions you have, but I'll also give you some notes to give to Caius and recommend some sixth house references he should read. House Dagoth was the sixth of the 7 Dunmer great houses. Nothing remains of the sixth house. Its members were all slain or adopted into other great houses following their treason in the War of the First Council. Their clanstead was called Kogaroon. The Ashlanders believe a reborn Nerevar will unite the Dunmer against the Outlander invaders and restore the ancient Dark Elven nation. Nerevar is a legendary hero and saint of the Temple, but the Temple denies the prophecy and persecutes heretics who believe in the Nerevarine. Tell Caius that Sharn Gramuzgob would be a better person to ask about the native faiths and superstitions. Here's a list of cheap books. All of them will tell you something about the sixth house and how it ended. The War of the First Council, Saint Nerevar, Nerevar Moon and Star, and the real Nerevar. Try the bookseller Dorissa Darvel over in the commercial district. She'll have at least some of these titles. The disappearance of the dwarves predates imperial written records. Dunmer oral accounts record that the Dwemer were utterly destroyed by the gods for profane practices and impiety. Dwarven ruins are scattered across Tamriel, and weapons, armor, housewares, coins, and other items of Dwemer design are often found, but the circumstances surrounding the disappearance of the dwarves remains one of Tamriel's greatest mysteries. Hello again. What do you want? You already gave me the Dwemer puzzle box, don't you remember? Are you here to discuss your orders, or is there something else you want? These notes are from Haspat Antabolus? Excellent. I trust he didn't work you too hard for them. I'll look them over in more detail later, but now I have some new orders for you.
Please, by all means. We need to repair the Balrog as soon as possible. Do you have the supplies? Remember, I'll need 8 pieces of Dwemer scrap metal and 2 greater soul gems. You may have just prevented a catastrophe, P-Crank. Fixing the Balrog won't be any trouble now. I have something for you. I use a hood quite like this to ward off the negative health effects proximity to the Balrog can cause. Of course, you won't be using it for that purpose, but it works well against other sources of deleterious magical effects, too. I do wonder sometimes if we are taking full advantage of the Balrog's capabilities. The mages here are harvesting only a fraction of the machine's actual arcane output, and only intermittently at that. Personally, I'd like to try and wire up some prototype applications. Think about it. The guild could light up Narcissus without a single candle, or throw arcs of arcane energy at the Empire's enemies. Though I suppose we'd have to find a more efficient way to supply the Balrog with fuel. What? No. The Balrog should be stable for the time being. I think Dairos of Igwami might have something for you, though. Ordinarily, he practices in the common areas, upstairs.
So good to see you. What brings you up here, P-Crank? Care to try my apprentice's long jump challenge? I don't have much in the way of duties for you. Well, there is something small you could help me out with. There have been claims that I'm putting my name on defective Hoptoad scrolls. It's frankly ridiculous. Defective? Hoptoad has been one of the guild's best-selling scrolls since I inscribed the first edition. But the buyer, Nelvana Umathan, represents the Hall of Farmers and Laborers, and I want to keep her on side. So what I've done is I've enchanted a new Hoptoad scroll, personally, not through an apprentice. And I've dotted all the aughts and crossed the yachems. Great care was put into this scroll. I want you to deliver it to her, along with my sincerest apologies. I'm Malvin Tynor, and creator of the famed Tynor's Hoptoad. I expect she'll be in or around the Hall of Farmers and Laborers in the market quarter.
Welcome to Narcissus. You're among friends here. What can a friend do for you? So, Malvin Tynor sent you to make things right. Well, the last scrolls of his that I purchased nearly resulted in injuries, so this one better work exactly as advertised. Otherwise, I'll be taking him and your whole guild of mages to the measure hall. I'm going to test it now and jump up onto the roof of the hall here. If it works, then I'll send you back to ask Tenor to whip us up some more. Person. The measure hall is the seat of House Lalu's power, the center of their business and government, though with the Lalu there's little difference between the two to begin with. Overlooking the council quarter Mesa, the measure hall's clerks and officials oversee the day-to-day business of trade negotiations and fleet deployments, as well as judicial hearings and legislative meetings.
Hail, and did you stop that woman from complaining about defective Hoptoad scrolls? She jumped how high? Incredible. We must hope that she was liquefied by the speed. Much less painful than death in the aether. I swear, I did not intend for this to happen. Don't you think that if I could inscribe spells of such power into mere parchment at will, I would? No. I think my Hoptoad scrolls may be defective. I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. Let me give you a couple of pointers on your jumping technique, as thanks. There's nothing else I have for you. You can try Salira's long jump challenge, but if you're looking for duties, maybe ask Ralsa Ondusi downstairs.
Was I met? I like that.
I'm very sorry, but I don't have any duties for you. I have heard it about the work you've done for everybody around the guild hall. I have duties as well, but they wouldn't be befit you. Come back to me once you reach the rank of magician. The guild halls in Othmora and Almasthura might have other duties for you to attend to. Congratulations.
I don't
You are now
believe
the
it.
magician. Strive ever forward. I'm sure that, in your prior duties, you took notice of the anomalies around the guild hall. Nothing is working as it should be. I believe I owe you an explanation. Have you ever heard of the spell Passwall? The spell allowed its user to travel short distances through doors and walls, hence the name. It was killed by the anti-magic field that was created in High Rock after the warp in the wet. Archmage Isadora and I were working with the Balrog to rediscover the spell when she vanished. My working theory is that she did find the spell, but when she did so, she also made contact with an anti-magic anomaly. I have an idea of how to find her, but we'll need a personal artifact of hers to do it. Why, yes, it is. It was in Old Ebonheart? Curious. But it seems that we're in luck, Peacrank. Lord Maz will be able to use the hat to find Isadora. He'll probably ask you to do something for him in return. Do it. We need the Archmage back here as soon as possible. Lord Maz is unusual for a Dremora Lord, especially one as powerful as he is. He prefers quiet study over the politics of the Oblivion Realms. Aside from a brief stint away 30 years ago, he rarely leaves Altavather. Lord Maz is a master of the arcane sciences. You might know of some of his spells, Maz's Vengeance in Mahaz Fortress. If Archmage Isadora is out there somewhere, Lord Maz will be able to find her. You can count on that. Altavather is a small shrine to Azura on the eastern bank of Lake Coronati. To get there, start in Sadrathim. Take the road northwest out of town and keep straight at the crossroads just after the bridge. Take the first right after that crossroads. Altavather is off the trail just to the east of there before the Velothi Tower.